On the island of Newfoundland, upon the southwest coast, lies the little town of Virgil, to whom I'll sing this toast. There are so many highlands that lie just off her shore, and when the cold north wind blows, you can hear the billows roar. The people from the village make their living from the sea. They like their independence, it shows that they are free. Some fish in their small boats in the wind, the rain and sleet, while others make their living on the offshore trawler fleet. They've known their share of tragedies down through the years, and when the memories overcome, they show their grief with tears. For they have lost some loved ones to the furies of the seas, for heartaches and heartbreaks are locked in memories. This village, it's got beauty carved on its rugged shore. 7 miles of pure white sand, who could ask for more? The mountains and the valleys where the rivers run so fast, and the salmon rise to the sportsman's fly as he makes another cast. Now the people of this village love their native home, for anyone who goes away oh surely will return. It's like that lifelong mystery, the answer you won't know. What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul? What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul?
Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have Certificate of Appreciation, $10,000 winner, 10 council reports. Please stay tuned for these stories after this.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas.
During the Christmas party at the Calder Elf Care Centre for the residents, a certificate was presented to Audrey Hann for her many years of faithful service in the Anglican church choir, but can no longer be a part of that group.
I have a special presentation to make today. The person who is about to receive it, I don't think knows anything about it. Some people serve the Lord in many ways and for many years in the church, and sometimes they, for health reasons and for other reasons, they have to sort of take a back seat. And I think she just figured it out. This is awarded to Audrey Hann, who has given many years of faithful service in the work of the church, St. John the Evangelist Church, Virgil. It's signed by myself as the rector of the parish and by Bishop Percy Cotton on November the 9th.
Linda Porter was the lucky winner.
This week, Councillor Strickland, Junior Strickland, and Councillor Stan Dominey requested leave of absence because, of course, they joined the large group of people that went to Alberta. So the predicament we're into, we only have 4 people, and we need 4 people in order to have a quorum. Anyhow, we spent a bit of time and did what we could with at the meeting. And the first thing on the agenda was the water treatment plant. We were talking to our engineers. They tell us that the plans will be ready to go to government between the first and the second week of February. Pretty much on schedule. We were hoping that was going to be the last week of January, but first, second week of February, they tell us the plans will go to government for the
government engineers to look at them. We also had an hour discussion by telephone with our lawyer that's on the court case. And that thing is getting so complicated, even the lawyer admits that it's getting difficult to tie it all together. We are just one of the people who are trying to get our money back in that, and then the other companies, they're trying to sue each other. So now we seem to be getting more complex as time goes on. So, like I've said before, this is going to be a drawn-out thing. We were told right from the beginning it could be 6 to 8 years before it gets resolved, and it just might be that. We were told that the Sand and Sea this year is going to be for a week, starting July the 20th, which is a Sunday, going to July the 27th. And of course they'll have their regular stuff going on, and I think why it's extended for a full week is having to do with probably the people who are, it's a come home year. So it's a Sand and Sea come home year that's on the go, and that's why the extra time. Also, this year, on July the 17th to the 19th, the Burgeo Museum Committee and the Burgeo Recreation Committee have teamed up to bring you some, it's called the Burgeo Hometown Celebration. And they will put off some shows and some activities. I guess you'll hear more about that as time goes on. So that's taking place between July the 17th and the 19th. So if you got people coming home this summer for come home a week, you can tell them that the activities will be starting around July the 17th up to July the 27th. So that will be a good period for them to come home and enjoy themselves, hopefully. Council did not make a decision last night concerning the part-time worker that they applied for. They will make that decision at the next meeting. And I think the next meeting is going to be on February the 13th, I believe. If, of course, we got enough people. Council have hired Ray Andrews, who's a fishery consultant, who we've hired him for approximately a week, and his job is to put all his expertise into play to see if he can find a quota out there, a quota of fish out there that we can take the government on their offer to buy for Burgeo or this region or whatever way they term it to be. Of course, we want it to be for Burgeo, but I don't think there's that many quotas out there floating around that you can buy, but nevertheless, we on council don't know anything in regards to where to get one. So we've hired Mr. Andrews to look into that and research it for us. He have told me that he'll be getting on it right away, and hopefully we'll get an answer back in a very short time. Now, not that whether he found one or not, but what if there is one out there and what steps we would have to go through in order to go after it. The town fireman, Mr. Mead, told me that they had a major sewage blockage at the intersection of Parsons Place and Inspiration Road. And from his knowledge that it was due to a buildup of fat. Remember I was telling you about that a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. He said in that line where it was blocked, there was about 5 feet of fat. And it just came out in great big chunks that they had to beat up in order to get it to flow. So fat is a major problem in these sewage lines. So try to take all precautions of letting as little fat down the drain as possible, please. I'd like to comment on the running of water. You people seem to be doing a much better job than we've been doing over a number of years. Our flow of water have gone down from 750 gallons per minute down to around 625 today when I checked it. Number of leaks have been repaired, and I also think that the citizens who have been running water, they're probably looking at it a bit more serious and finding ways to reduce the amount that they're running, because as you know, you don't need it to running full blast in order to keep it from freezing. So keep up the good work there. Try to run it only when you have to. If you have to, try to keep the flow down just enough to keep it from freezing. And also turn it off as soon as you can when spring comes around. Town manager told me that we've been having some trouble with parked vehicles on the side of the road. And they're trouble in this time of the year, of course, because of snow clearing. Now, the town law states that vehicles must be a minimum of 3 feet from the side of the road. If they're not, the town has the right to get a tow truck, to employ a tow truck, tow the vehicle away, and bill you for the tow job. Of course, we don't want to do that, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So please, try to keep your vehicles a minimum of 3 feet from the edge of the road. I know in some places in Burgeo that's very difficult to do, but we certainly would ask for your cooperation in that regards. And I think that's about it for last night's meeting. So have yourself a good week.
This concludes our programming for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.